Same from Coach, and then we'll open up for questions.
All right. This week's opponent is going to be Missouri, and I know the guys have a lot of questions about other things pertaining to not Missouri, but the biggest focus on this football team for us right now is playing Missouri. We have a lot of things that we have to get done, a lot of things we have to accomplish, and we got another chance to play in the SEC game that's on the road, and we have a team like Missouri who's scoring a lot of points. The quarterback, Luck, and the receiver, Moore, is doing a tremendous job right now. Those are two guys on offense that's doing a great job, and they have two running backs right now who's starting to pick up the pace a little bit. Defensively, they lead the league in sacks. They have Frazier and Beckner. Those two guys doing a tremendous job up front. They do more like old Tampa Bay cover two, and do a lot of things up front with the D-line to cause havoc. We got to do a great job offensively of identifying what they're trying to get done and the things that we're trying to get done to make it successful for us. As far as the moving on piece of it, we're going to have some competition at quarterback. A lot of guys want to know what we're doing at quarterback. It's my theory and my thoughts are you compete every day in practice. Defensively, you compete every day. Offensively, you compete every day. And when guys have competition, it tends to bring the best out of everybody. And we're going to judge those guys on what they do in practice and how they compete, how they get the offense going, how they get the offense moving. And it's just not just those guys competing. There's also guys up front on the offensive line, guys on the defensive line, guys in the secondary. If you guys notice, we kind of change a little things on defense every week because of guys' participation in practice. If they're doing a great job in practice, we reward them. If they're not doing a great job in practice, but them guys don't get opportunity to play. We got to do a better job of special teams. Big emphasis this week is special teams. We have to get field position. We have to get field position on our punt return team and also our kickoff return team. We got to do a tremendous job of getting the offense not 80 yards, but maybe 60 or 50 yards to go to give us more of a chance. And those will be the biggest emphasis this week on what we're trying to get done. The message yesterday for the team is, hey, we got 4 games left. Nothing matters but this game coming up against Missouri. We're excited about playing in Missouri. We told them guys that, hey, opportunity comes that you have a chance to play in another SEC stadium, another chance on the road, another chance to improve what we're trying to get done. Everybody in the room want to be winners. They want to be competitive. They don't want to let anybody down. But most of all, I told them guys, don't let yourself down. Compete at a high level, concentrate, do all the things that you need to get done, and we'll be successful. We have to look forward. We can't look back. And sometimes when you look back, that tend to bring you down. And these guys are, take that approach. They've done a good job. We got practice today, and then we'll move forward. Any questions?
Start with Mark.
Yeah, when you talk about moving forward and not blocking out all that stuff, how hard a task is that for these guys? It's human nature to maybe get a little bit sidetracked by everything going on.
It's hard, like anything else. You just have to, keep pressing the fact of what's the big picture. And, everybody loved Coach Mack. I love Coach Mack. He gave me this opportunity to be at Florida, and he's recruited a lot of guys on his football team. And but they know deep down inside the biggest thing that we have to do is win games. We have to be competitive. We have to, win. And anytime that you're a competitor, you always have to compete at a high level no matter what the circumstances are. Sometimes guys are sick, not feeling well, but they still have to compete. And this is an opportunity for us to compete at a high level and give us our best shot this week playing against Missouri.
And I know you never want it to be about you, but the reality is this is a little bit of an audition for you? I mean, is it?
I don't look at audition. I just think it's an opportunity to coach and have fun with a bunch of guys on the student athletes that you have a chance to be with. And these guys got to represent the University of Florida. Myself have to represent the University of Florida. And we got to go out there as a whole team and unit and coaching staff and have fun with these guys, and be very enthusiastic, be very positive. And whatever happens in the game early, we got to weather the storm. And at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters is what happened at the end of the game.
Thomas.
Malik Davis was banged up Saturday. Can you give us an update?
Oh, I forgot about that. I'm sorry. I'm glad you brought it up. 2 guys that probably won't be playing this week would be Malik and Colin Johnson. Malik's probably going to be out for the season, and Colin probably be out for the season also. Slim chance of Colin coming back, but it'd just be tough for him to come back. But Malik is definitely out for the season.
Pass back to Edgar.
Can you tell us how big a blow that is for you guys, Malik?
Well, it's a big blow for us because he was an explosive running back for us, but also, it's a time for Mark Thompson to step up. I mean, he's a senior. He's a guy that's 6'2", 240, runs 4.4. It's his opportunity to come in and play. We got to challenge him on offense to make sure there's a reason why he was recruited to be a part of Florida. and that's him to be a skilled running back like he is, but also be productive and be a physical type guy that can get open space, that can make plays. Darius Lemon to be a third guy on the roster. If something go around, he'll be the next guy up. So we got 3 running backs that we feel comfortable with, but Mark Thompson has to really step up this game.
Andrew?
You know, a lot of players were on social media saying they found out on Twitter about Mac's departure. Have you addressed that with the team and assured them that there's going to be a little better communication there going forward?
I'm not a Twitter guy, to be honest with you. I don't know what goes on Twitter, to be honest
Okay.
with you. So when Mr. Strickland announced that, Coach Mack was no longer with us, that's when we, heard about it. I don't look at Twitter, so I couldn't tell you when that happened or nothing like that.
Well, I just meant what kind of you told the players about that. I mean,
I never talked about it, to be honest with you. We talked about what moving forward, talked about Missouri, talked about what we have to do, what our plans were for today's practice, and how we're going to move forward and get this victory this week.
You mentioned QB. I mean, do you see a change happening this week? Malik certainly performed well when he got in there. And
It depends, depends on who does the best thing in practice. The one thing that's hard to do is judge on one game or one series in a game. You got to judge on what they do in practice. And I think the more competitive guys is, you bring the best out of them. The one thing that when you compete, either you're going to be up or you're going to be down. So you always want the guy that's up, the guy that's going to bring the energy, the guy that's going to bring the operations, the things that'll make you win games. And that's by being competitive and you make guys compete in practice, you're really going to find out what you're going to get in the game time.
Matt, all right.
How crazy has this last week been? I mean, a week ago, you guys were expecting to, getting ready to play Georgia, and none of this seems like it was going to happen.
I can't worry about what happened last week, to be honest with you. The only thing I say is it was Missouri. I mean, what happened in the past, I can't change it. I just got to move forward. And we want to talk about Missouri, we can, but in the past, I can't change any of those things right now.
Nick?
How much will you be involved with the offense, and are there any changes you foresee?
You brought up a good question. We just met with the offense. We'll meet with the offense. I'll meet with the offense every day to find out the game plan and what we're trying to do on certain situations throughout the week, and pros and cons. By being a defensive coach, you can tell things of what we've been very good at, what we've not been very good at, and making suggestions on what we need to get done. And I think that the one thing that you have is when you have a defensive coach seeing things from how to attack you, you can learn a lot from that. Like myself, whenever I go visit people, I go visit offensive guys. I don't visit defensive guys. You visit offensive guys because you want to learn what they're doing and not what you're trying to get better at.
And how much of it is kind of a catch-up job for you? I mean, you're defensive coordinator, you're not really paying attention to the offense and the ins and outs of that.
It's not that very hard. We got players on offense. We just got to put them in the right spots to be successful and make sure we capitalize on those certain situations. We cannot sit and say, well, this is the guy we're going to get the ball to. Well, if they take this guy away, how do we get it to the next best guy? It's a chess game we have to do on offense. We got to make sure we get the best players that give us opportunity to win games to get the ball in their hands multiple times.
Andy?
With McElwain's departure, there's an open spot on the staff. Have you promoted a new assistant?
God, you good. Bringing up Coach Akey, Rob Akey, NFL guy that was at the Washington Redskins, Minnesota Vikings, been around in the Pac-10 for a long time, also was a head coach. He's going to be working with the D-line and also promoted Coach Chris Rump, the defensive coordinator. For me, being a defensive coordinator, me just hanging around on defense when you take over a team is not the right thing to do. I got to be a part of the whole defense and offense and special teams. So promoting Chris Rump, a guy who's done it, that's prepared for it, he's ready to do a great job. But for me as a head coach, I got to be able to multitask on offense, defense, special teams.
Edgar?
But have you spoken to recruits? What kind of assurances have you kind of given the
I
class?
haven't talked to one recruit yet. I'll talk to a lot of recruits tonight because, yesterday was a whirlwind. We're trying to get ready for practice and game plan and different things like that. But tonight, I'll talk to about maybe 11 recruits that are tagged, 11 to 12 that we're tagged, and just communicate with them that, the reason why you come into the University of Florida is because it's Florida. Is, a lot of times student athletes recruit get involved in, it's the coach, but it's the school. It's the academic presence that Florida brings. It's the athletic presence that the Florida brings. It's the family atmosphere that Florida brings. Those are high quality things that I think that every parent and every student athlete that want. They want to have a family. They want to have great academics, and they want to have able to compete at a high level, and have people that cares about you. And that's what the University of Florida is all about.
Obviously, you can't completely change direction, but how much are you just going to kind of continue what the foundation, or how much do you want to change? I mean, is Doug going to continue to be leading the offense, for example?
Yeah, Doug's going to continue to lead the offense like anything else. You can't wholesale everything change. A couple of things we've changed. Coach Mack laid a great foundation for us. Now we just got to build on it. We're going to do certain things in practice that are maybe a little bit different. The way we probably do certain things off the field be a little different, but it's giving us a chance to win. It's giving us a chance of doing certain things. Like anything, when you have change, you have to change certain things. You have to change something, or if it becomes stagnant quo, then it stays the same. And we won't be stagnant quo. We'll change some things that we feel is best for us.
Thomas.
Talking about some of those changes, I guess you open up, it seems like a little bit more of practice.
Yeah. I learned, you know what? Back in my early days when I was a coach, you know what, it was different. Let you guys come to practice and see what we're doing and stuff, like fly around, run around. You can get your opinions about what you see and stuff like that. Just don't film anything and, stuff like that. But otherwise that, you can come out there and watch practice and see what we're doing. It's part of your job, is to give information and see what we're doing and give your opinion. And I'll tell you this, your opinions don't affect me like it do when I was younger. I'm kind of like used to it now, but it's just you help you guys do your job the best that you can be, more than anything.
And then you guys have it looks like a perfect plays period. Is that something that you've done in the past? Or
Something I've done in the past, that you have to come off the ball and have perfect plays. Have a perfect play where you coming off the ball and it's a perfect run, it's a perfect pass, snap counts. We had a lot of penalties last week, and then that's all predicated on snap counts. And we have to make sure if we're going to go on 1, or we're going to go on 2, or we're going to go on 3, make it be a perfect 3 count or a 2 count or a 1 count. Let's not get stereotyped and just go through the motions. Let's practice it.
Anything else, guys? Mark?
Yeah, Randy, what is your take on the defense this year? Young in the secondary, really talented up front, highs and lows. Can you just take us through?
It's kind of I'm a competitive. I don't think nobody's young. That's the problem with me. I always think that no matter who you have to coach him. And being in the NFL, you can trade for somebody, get somebody off the couch and sign them, waiver wire. You can do all those things. In college, whoever you got, you have to coach them. And we've been up and down on defense. We've done some great things on defense. Starting off the season, you would say, okay, we'll have Marcel, we'll have Nick Washington, we'll have guys in the secondary. But unfortunately, we didn't. We're playing with a bunch of young guys, which in the secondary, Duke is the only senior. Everybody else is a true freshman or a true sophomore. And then you go and you say, okay, linebacker-wise, they all sophomores. Either second-year sophomores or redshirt freshmen. Then you look at the D-line, you think that's the most experienced position, but when you lose Papo, which was the senior of the group, you're losing him, and then you lost Jabari for a week, then he comes back. And then now you say, okay, where can we benefit from? Well, you're still young, because the only 2 other guys you got are juniors are Taven and Kerry Clark. And everybody else is still young, but they energetic, they play hard, they play fast, they play aggressive, they don't quit. And that's the one thing that you'll know about those guys. Now, we'll do some stuff that's not sound, we'll fit a gap wrong or something to happen, but when it all comes back, those guys still compete and they fix problems quick. And that's the one thing about when you have a young team, you're going to be on sometimes, and sometimes it's going to be tough on you.
Thomas and then Edgar.
Missouri's offense, what kind of challenges do they present?
They're explosive. They've been scoring a lot of points the last two weeks of football, and Luck is doing a good job, and the running game is doing a good job. We just got to continue to stress upon ourselves, stop the run game, and get them in situations that we can attack them. We're not going to use the game plan we did with A&M. I mean, that was something totally different. But we have a chance to do some certain things that would give us an opportunity to be aggressive like we were against A&M. And I think it's going to be a big challenge for our young secondary to make sure they hold up in the back end, but also going to be a real challenge for the D-line to make sure they do a good job in the run game.
And then do you change anything up being a noon game, halfway across the country?
A couple of times you'll wake them up in the morning early so they get used to coming up and, eating early in the morning around about 7 o'clock, because you always got to go 4 hours before time. So that'll be 7 o'clock, that'll be 11. So here, it'll be 8, and it'll be 12, 12 noon games. So we'll do some things like that throughout the week.
Edgar?
What's the key just to like get guys to regroup? Defensively, it was a tough performance against Georgia. Felipe's obviously his confidence. He says it's high, but it was a tough day for him too.
Well, you know what? You all you can do is be positive with it. Like I said, we always have this rule in coaching: don't let the game before lose the next game. So you got to always look ahead. You show the positives for the film, you show a couple of negatives from the film, but you move forward real fast, real quick, because the only thing that matters is Missouri. If you keep dwelling in the past and keep talking about something that's happened, what is going to get you? It's going to get you still in the past, and then you're going to feel down, and you won't be up. You won't be the person that you need to be for the next play. It's happened a lot throughout the season, throughout college coaching. I've been through it a couple of times before as a player. I've been through it a couple of times as a coach. The fastest you can come back, the quicker you can come back and get started, the better off you are.
Any final questions? Mark, last one.
Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
Oh, Randy, a coach's life has a lot of twists and turns, obviously. With your deep roots in South Florida, what was it like this morning to wake up knowing that, you're the head of the Florida Gators program?
It don't change me. It's football, and you're coaching, you're having fun. I've had a lot of people from South Florida reach out to me that was good friends of mine, a lot of University of Miami friends, a lot of Florida State alumnus, so it's more of you just being if you're a good guy, people respect good guys. If you're a bad guy, people don't respect bad guys. So for me, being at the University of Florida, like when I first got here, it was like the welcome and the family atmosphere and everything that was positive about Florida, still positive about Florida. It's nothing that's going to change. It's like we always say, at a institution or a NFL team, basketball, baseball, or a corporation, they want to win. They want the best that they can get. And you have to accept the challenge that no matter what, you have to give them what they want. And that's just a challenge of everything.
When you met with Scott yesterday, what did he tell you about your chances for this job?
Never talked about it. Never asked him a question about it, anything. It's all about Missouri, and it's all about getting ready for the next one. It's sometimes you can start thinking about everything else. The best job I ever had, the best job I ever had in my whole career?
University of Miami linebackers coach, because that team was really talented.
No. Best job I have is the job I have right now, because it's the only job. The best players I ever coach is the players I'm coaching right now, because they're the only players I can coach. So you have to take that mindset and capitalize on that instead of thinking about the past or the future, thinking about what you have now. And I think a lot of times in coaching, guys try to think about the next job instead of the best job they have is the one they have now. Or they may think about guys you've coached in the past or guys you may have to coach instead of about the guys you have now. And that's how I think most of the time, my mindset.
You know what, though? The guys who coach in the past are a lot of fun to coach. Those guys are good.
These guys are fun too. So,
Any final questions? All right, thanks, guys.
all right, fellas, take care.
Thanks, Randy.